Women, we've got to have a difficult conversation. It is not okay for you to lose your temper at your partner. I know I've been there. This used to be my go-to. I know how difficult it is to stop. And I also know that when I used to do it, I used to make all of the excuses about why this was okay, why it was justified, why it was normal, and why my partner should just be okay with it, and all of the justification reasons. And now, having come further in my journey where I've done the work so that I don't behave in this way anymore, I have more constructive outlet channels for my anger, for my frustration. I have better communication tools. I have more trust, which I'm going to talk about all in this live stream. I can see how incredibly damaging this behavior used to be in my relationships. And I want to talk to you today about how to change this behavior so that you don't keep losing incredible men. I know that you are an amazing woman. You are smart. You are a high achiever. You're quick-witted. You're intelligent in all of the ways. You're emotionally attuned. You've got so much going for you, and you're extremely powerful. And men love that. They're attracted to it. You might be telling yourself, yeah, but they get intimidated. I'm going to talk about the intimidation piece today. It's not what you think. It's not that you're powerful. Men love that you're powerful. It's not that. What isn't okay is the way you express your frustration, the way you express your anger or your fear or your sadness, the way it all comes out. And I'm going to talk to you today about how to ease that process so that you don't have to go through the years and years and years that I went through of losing really, really good men. So before I go any further, let me say, yes, it is okay to have emotions. This is not about women not having emotions. This is not about women not being fiery. I want you to be fiery. I want you to be powerful. I want you to be bold and courageous. And I want you to be out there. I want you to be all of those beautiful things that you naturally are. And I naturally am too. And it is not okay to lose your temper at somebody. It's okay to lose your temper. It's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to not be coping. It's okay to be frustrated or to feel lost or scared or fearful of a situation. And it's okay for that emotion to be messy. It's okay to be messy, and it's okay to be imperfect. And if you only take away one thing from this video, please take away the fact that you need to redirect your anger, your frustration, your resentment to somebody, sorry, not to somebody, to something that is not a somebody. You need to direct it in a way that is not at somebody. And this goes for your parents, this goes for your partner, this goes for your friends, this goes for your children. Directing your temper, your anger, your frustration, your resentment, all of these unfelt, powerful emotions, directing them at somebody is not okay. I'm pausing because I know that's a hard one to hear. If you had told me this, if I had told me this 10 years ago, I probably would have sworn at you and walked away. Ladies, let me tell you a bit about my journey and why I'm so passionate about this message and why this matters so much to me and for you, and why I don't want you to have to repeat the years and years and years of mistakes I made. I want to give you a shortcut today so that you can, if you're with an incredible man right now, so that you can hold on to him. And if you are not with an incredible man right now, so that you can find one and stay with him, if that's your desire. And I'm assuming it is because you're watching this video. Some of my parts of my brain are finding difficult words. Okay, let me talk about my story. So I grew up in a household where we shouted and screamed at each other. That's what we did when we lost our temper, when things got too much, when we didn't get our own way, when we were hurt or we felt that we'd been hurt, or when we were sad, or when we were angry, or when we were overwhelmed. Essentially, when we were anything, the way that we dealt with it, if it was sadness, we suppressed it, we kept it inside, we didn't show sadness at all costs. We tried not to show sadness. And so the emotions got stuck, repressed, pushed down, and they have to find an outlet because emotions are energy, right? I have spent 16 years studying this stuff. I know a lot about this subject. I'm a dating and relationship coach, but really under the hood, I am a self-love coach, a self-acceptance coach, a self-belief coach, and a nervous system rewiring coach. Emotions are energy, and energy has to move. Energy is constantly moving. It's like there's a great analogy that somebody once said, it might have been Gabor Mate, that if you try and think of a blown up balloon and you're trying to hold it under the water, this is energy, right? This is emotions. It takes a lot of work, a lot of your effort to hold that balloon under the water and to keep it under the water and to stop it bobbing up. This is what you're doing all the time. You are suppressing your emotions and trying to keep it in control, right? Trying not to explode. So I know that what I'm telling you today might play into that story, but it's not that story. So don't tell yourself, oh, it's just this. Oh, she's just telling me like, oh, I have to control my emotions and I have to behave and all the things. Like, I know it might sound like that, but hear me out. It's not that. I've been where you're at and I have lived this experience and I've come out the other side. So hear what it is that I'm telling you. This extreme amount of energy that it takes to hold emotions down is exhausting. This is why you are tired. This is why you are burning out. This is why you are worn out, exhausted, frustrated. This is why you crave to have more support, crave to have more help, more support. You wish your partner did more. You wish your friends did more. You wish your kids did more. Your parents did more. You wish your job wasn't so demanding. You wish you could rest more, right? Because you're holding all the bobbing balloons under the water all of the time. Now, why am I telling you this? Why is it relevant? Because I want for you to understand that the air in those balloons is energy. Emotions are energy. It's the same. Energy will always find a way to come out, to come up. It doesn't matter how much you try to repress it, how much you push it down, it will find a way out. And usually when you've just relaxed your guard, you think you're safe, you've let your guard down, and then whoops, it comes out the side, usually as some snide remark or some backhanded compliment or a criticism, which you didn't really mean to come out as a criticism. You were trying to make a compliment or trying to just make a point, and it comes out awkward, it comes out skewed out because you're not being true in the moment when you actually want to express. I'll talk about that more in a moment. So what do you need to do? Like, okay, great, Natalie, you're telling me all this. Now what? So what? I'm telling you that these emotions are going to come out. You cannot hold them down. You cannot keep the balloons under the water all of the time. As soon as you relax, boop, it's going to pop up. So the trick is not to keep the balloons under the water, not to keep the emotions suppressed. And you're probably like, but you just said I'm not allowed to lose my temper. So, how else am I supposed to do that? I hear you, and bear with me. So there's multiple layers here. You want to, first of all, number one, speak to a problem as soon as it arrives. Do not let it fester. But, there's a but, when you articulate the problem to your partner or to the person involved, you want to really come from your heart. You don't want to come from a place of already feeling angry, already feeling frustrated. There's work to do, which I can't explain on a live stream. You're going to have to do this working in with me one-to-one as a coach or as a therapist, or if you're able to do it yourself, great. Although I do recommend you get support, particularly if you agreed with my statements earlier of you wish you had more support in your life. One of the things that women in this position do, I used to do, is we push away support because we're super independent. We can do it all ourselves, right? So I can't go into all of the details, but I can tell you this. You want to get to your heart space. You want to get to your vulnerability, and you want to express your desire from your heart, not your frustration about what isn't being done. But you do want to raise this as soon as it happens. So prioritize it, make time for it, work out how to do it, and let your partner know, hey, there's something that I want to talk about that's important to me. Can we make some space and time? And then you have the conversation. So number one, don't let things fester. Number two, have an outlet for your emotions and process your emotions before you have these type of conversations. Now, that might be going for a run. It might be a really hard workout in the gym. It might be having a really good cry. It might be building a pile of soft pillows on the bed and whacking them. Be careful not to hurt your body. Finding a way to express the energy. Bear in mind, energy is like those balloons. It will always come to the surface. Find a way for this energy to come to the surface in a way that is constructive and safe. Safe for all of you, all involved, you, any objects that you're using, and certainly anybody around you. Number three, when you are expressing this emotion, however you choose to express it, I want you to start to train yourself to not express this at somebody. And if you are expressing it at somebody, to stop yourself, to exercise discipline. This is your inner masculine. You're going to have to really develop your inner masculine to set a boundary with yourself. To say, if you notice, oh my God, I'm blaming. Oh my God, I'm shaming. Oh my God, I'm projecting my emotions onto this person. I'm directing my anger or my frustration or my resentment at somebody. And this is not okay. Not okay under any circumstance. Actually, there is one circumstance, but I'll talk to that at the end. I'll speak to it now. Unless this person has directly and intentionally, the word intentionally is so important, so important. Unless this person has directly and intentionally broken one of your boundaries, then do not direct your anger at them. I also want to caveat that this whole video is not for women who are in relationship with abusive men. This is not for you. This whole video is not for you. The women I am talking to, they know who they are. They are strong, empowered, charismatic. What's the other word I'm looking for? I can't find the word. Strong energy, headstrong. I can't find the words to describe it, but you know, if you are this powerful woman who typically burns people with your fire, this is who I'm talking to in this video. If you are someone who typically ends up in relationship with abusive people, this is not for you. Go find another video about healthy boundaries with a different coach. So the only time that it is okay to direct your anger or your emotion at somebody is if they have intentionally broken your boundary. And the word intentional is very, very important. If you're in relationship with a partner, and if you're the type of woman I describe, the chances are your man has not intentionally broken your boundaries. Women like me, women like us, we don't get into relationship with men who do that. We don't tolerate it. We don't allow it. We would not accept that from a man. We know that we're powerful, we're strong, we're vicious, we can be extremely aggressive in the moments when we're very triggered. There's no way that we would allow that behavior from somebody. So the chances are, if your partner has upset you, if she or they has triggered you, he didn't mean it. It wasn't his intention. Let that sink in, because this is a key part, is that when we put that boundary in place to say stop with ourselves, it's actually stop for everybody, stop for everything. Pause, I need to take space. Pause, I'm losing my temper, I need to take space. We go away and we do step 2. We go process the emotions, right? And then we come back to step 1. We come back to our heart space, our vulnerability, our desire. And this is a process that you're going to need to keep learning to repeat. But under no circumstances with your partner is it okay to direct your emotions and your energy at him. He has done nothing to deserve that, even if he's hurt you, because he will not have intended to hurt you. If you genuinely think that you're with someone who intentionally hurts you, why are you with them? You deserve better than that. Do not tolerate being with somebody who intentionally hurts you. If you genuinely think that they intend to hurt you, leave. Love yourself enough to leave. Go find a coach who supports women to leave relationships and get out. I am not that coach. Generally, the women I work with have trouble staying in relationship. We don't have trouble leaving, we have trouble staying. So, number 3, stop yourself. This is where you get to exercise discipline, you get to grow your inner masculine, you get to hold a boundary with yourself. This is about self-respect. This is about loving and respecting yourself to want something different, to want a relationship in which a man does not put up with you shouting and screaming and yelling at him because he has so much damn self-respect and self-love that he would not tolerate that from you. And number 2, I've forgotten number 2. Bollocks. Bear with me. Oh, this is why I'm better at doing pre-recorded videos than live. It's about the man you want to get. You don't want to be with a man who, okay, I found it again. ADHD traits at play, absolutely. Okay, you don't want to lose good men. You don't want to, number 1, you don't want to put up with men that don't have enough of a backbone to stand up to you. And number 2, when you find a man, or men, plural, who do stand up to you, they will not tolerate it. They will not stay. Speaking of my own experience again, I have had a few of these beautiful men in my life, and thankfully I do now have one of these beautiful men in my life, and I have managed to turn this whole piece around so that I no longer burn him with my fire. I'm still very fiery. I'm still very bold. I'm still very powerful and expressive and out there. But I no longer direct my anger at him. It's okay for me to be angry. It's okay to be overwhelmed, frustrated, emotional, all the things. It's okay for me to have PMS, PMT, whatever the things are, but I don't get to direct it at him. And if I was to direct it at him, he would not tolerate it. He has enough love and self-respect to walk away. And he almost did on many occasions before I learned this lesson. And he said to me, Natalie, I will not stay in a relationship where I'm spoken to in this way. I will not stay in a relationship where it's confrontational in this way, where it is combative, and where I feel like I cannot take off my armor, take off my guard, and be around you because of fear of when you are going to flip into aggression and hurt me, because I'm vulnerable without my armor, without my layer of protection, which I take off around you because you're my beloved, you're my special person. I want to feel safe with you, and I can't do that if you are going to turn your fire on me. So I did the hard work. I looked hard in the mirror, and I realized, like, I have already lost a number of really good men who loved me more than any other man ever at that point in my life. Men who saw my beauty, my power, my charisma, my wisdom, my intelligence, my go-getter mindset, my, high achieving woman abilities. And they loved all of that about me. They were turned on by all of that. They loved how alive I was, how strong I was, how empowered I was. But they don't want it turned against them. A man never wants to be your enemy. In fact, actually, that's probably true for all genders, all partners. With a partner, you're supposed to be on the same side all of the time. All of the time, no exceptions, even when you're fighting. Even when you're fighting. If you grew up in a household like I did, that is a weird concept. Really weird. Totally alien. Totally unfamiliar. And it's also the most beautiful thing you will ever experience when you stop becoming the enemy. Stop making your partner the enemy. Because if you are with a man with integrity, if you are with a man who can tell you no, can tell you yes, can tell you no, can tell you when you're out of line, can tell you that they, don't agree with a certain thing, don't agree with, your opinion, they still love you, but they have a different opinion. You've got a man with integrity, assuming he's also treating you right. And a man with integrity will always, always, always want to protect you and provide for you. Always. Let that sink in as well. That's a big one for us. It was a big one for me. This is where you can learn to trust, because you tune into this over and over again, what his intentions are. That's why I said before, the only time it is genuinely okay to direct your energy towards someone is if their intention has been to cross your boundary. And I can promise you that if you have a man with integrity who loves you and wants the best for you, he will never intentionally hurt you. Never. He may do it by accident, but it's a genuine mistake. It's a genuine error of judgment on his part. And it was never, ever his intention. Trusting his integrity is what allows you to be able to relax and let down your guard and know that you are safe. I'm trying to now remember where I got to before this point. My scattered brain takes me all over the place, but you'll have to come with me on the journey, because this is how I work sometimes. I was talking about the partners I'd lost. Finding a man who treats you so damn well, but who won't put up with your fire being directed at him, is hard. It's really, really hard for women like us. to hear that, because we want to be loved and accepted for who we are, right? I know you want to be loved and accepted for who you are, and you absolutely deserve that. You absolutely deserve that. Nothing I'm saying in this live stream takes away from that. And your reactions are not you. Your reactions are protective behaviors you've learned to stay safe. They are not the truth of who you are. They are not part of your integrity. And you know it. That's why you're watching this video. You know that when you go to that place, you're out of integrity. You try to make peace with it because you're like, oh, but this is just part of me and he needs to accept all of me. I'm on a journey of self-love and self-acceptance. I'm trying to love and accept these parts. Yes, 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 yes. I celebrate you and wholeheartedly agree with you. Accepting that you have these parts and that they are part of you, yes. Directing your anger, frustration, resentment towards somebody, no. It's a behavior. It's not who you are at your core. It's a learned protective behavior. I was going to talk about our childhoods again, my childhood, which I imagine you have the same. I've learned to accept and love the fact that my brain is quite scattered and it jumps all over the place. But usually I do come back and I do end up making sense. So I hope you can bear with me. When you grow up in a household like I grew up in, where anger and shouting and losing your temper at somebody was normal, you learn very young that your family members are not on the same side as you. That might sound weird. You might disagree with what I've just said. Yes, they love you and they want the best for you and they will protect you and they will look after you and they will care for you. They will do whatever they can to love and support you. Definitely. And when they are triggered, you become the enemy. So you learned, and I learned at a very young age, that I was on the opposite side to my parents. And that any time we had a fight, I was alone in that fight. That's hard for me to hear, even now, 16 years worth of personal development down the line and a lot of healing, 16 years worth of healing. It's hard for me to hear myself say that when I used to fight with my family, with my parents, I felt alone in that fight. Felt alone, and that I had to defend myself against my family. That's hard to hear. Hurts here, right through my heart. Oh, and I feel sadness. I feel tightness in my jaw and sadness. But it's the truth. When you grow up in a household where shouting and screaming and fighting is the normal, it's the go-to, it's the default reaction, you end up feeling as though you have to protect yourself because nobody else will. You end up feeling as though you're alone and that you have to know how to defend yourself at all costs. because nobody else is going to step in and do that for you. And it's really important to have this awareness, to realize this, to realize that you've had this experience and that you've had this message ingrained into you from a very, very young age. And that this will be your default operating, like your, what do they call it? Operandus modi. I forget the language. Because when you find a partner, or if you've already found a partner who has integrity, his words and actions align, and he can say yes, he could say no. He's genuinely got your best interests at heart. He's kind, he's generous, he's loving. I'm guessing that his way of disagreeing with you is to not shout and scream, because women like us, we will naturally seek somebody who is calm, who is grounded, who is patient, and who is kind, because that is what we craved and that we didn't quite get enough of as we grow up. So this is naturally the type of partner you will choose. I have chosen in my past, and now also with my current beautiful, amazing partner. And men like that don't easily anger. They will anger. They will anger if they're really pushed. If you really, really push them to the limit, they will anger. But they don't want to get to that place. That's not their go-to. It's not their default. Their default is to be patient and calm and to take space. That's why you've chosen them, right? You've chosen them so your nervous system can have a different imprint. So you can actually learn how it is to be in a healthy relationship. You may not consciously have chosen for this purpose, but your nervous system, your heart will have chosen them for this subconscious intention. Now, I'm saying all of this because men like this are on your side, genuinely. They've got your back, and they see you and them together. They see your partnership as a team. And every time you go into attack, into aggression, into blame, into point scoring, who's right and who's wrong, that's point scoring. Oh, well, I did this because you did that. Oh, well, actually, I only did this because you did that. Point scoring. When you go into any of those behaviors, you are no longer part of a team. You are now making yourself the enemy, making him the enemy. And therefore, you are on opposing sides. And every time you do this, you break his trust. You destroy and erode the trust. He won't take it anymore. His self-worth will be whispering, actually probably speaking quite loudly, saying to him, why are you putting up with this? I know she's amazing. I know she's all of these incredible qualities. I know she's ferocious and bold and alive and all of those things, but she turns it on you. She turns it on you. Why are you putting up with this? You're a high value man. You're kind, you're generous, you're patient. You speak lovingly. You work as a team. You have integrity. You have her best intentions at heart. Why are you putting up with this? And eventually that voice will win. And he will leave. And whilst you might be hurt and angry, you will look back later down the line, as I now look back at the men who left me, And I can see why they left. I can see why they left. It hurt me in the process, and they didn't know how to explain to me in the way that my current partner has been successful enough to explain to me. And I've had the self-awareness and the ability to shift my behaviors with the help of an exceptional coach, I will say, so that I could turn it around, so that I could stop destroying my relationships with my fire. And this is now something I coach women to do, of course, because I don't want for you to go through losing great partner after great partner after great partner like I did. I want for you to have the shortcut. Yes, this video gives you information. It gives you a lot of framework. It gives you a lot of reference points. But I can promise you this work is hard. So hard. It's really a death of an identity. It's a death of your ego. And you will want support. And given that you probably identified with a bit earlier in the live stream where I said that you wish you had more support, you wish your job wasn't so busy, you wish your job wasn't so demanding, you wish your life wasn't so chaotic, you wish, your partner supported you more, your family supported you more, your friends, your children supported you more. This is when you have to learn to accept, to ask for help and to accept help, and to come and work with a coach who's been there. So I offer a package called Trust and Teamwork, or Unbreakable Love. Actually, I think we rebranded it recently called Unbreakable Love, formerly called Trust and Teamwork, where I work with you, the woman in the relationship, to learn to do the steps that we've spoken about in today's live stream, and to do the inner work, the inner healing work, where every time you feel as though he attacked you, you feel as though he disrespected you or didn't value you or wronged you or shamed you or tried to shut you down or tried to restrict your freedom, tried to take away something that was important to you, when deep down you know that his intention is pure, his intention is love. I help you see his intention. I help you stay connected to his integrity, and I help you heal the insecurities and the triggers within you that are telling you a different story, because you know that that's not really the truth. I know that you know that. I used to know it. I used to get really mad because it felt like the truth. It felt so true. But there was also a part of me that knew it wasn't true, that knew he loved me more than anything. And then I'd get mad at myself because I was like, damn, why am I getting so triggered by all these things? Why can't I see the truth? Why can't I stay connected to his love? Why can't I receive the abundant, incredible, amazing love that is here for me? Why do I keep burning it and pushing it away? Why do I keep destroying everything that is good? So if you want to change these patterns finally so that you can actually receive abundantly the love that is there for you, and know that your partner is always, always, always on the same side as you, even when you disagree. I know that seems so weird, and I wouldn't ever have believed that was possible until I experienced it for myself. But I promise you it is, and it is beautiful. And this is actually where secure attachment gets built, because when you know deep down that your partner is always on the same side as you, even if they disagree with you, this is where you get to stay securely attached rather than avoidant attachment or anxious attachment or chaotic attachment, if you're somebody like me. So if you want to move towards secure attachment, if you want to stop getting triggered every time your partner does little things and you know it's not his intention, you know this isn't the truth of your relationship and of his intentions, and you want to be more in alignment with your integrity so that you can step into the next level of being the most amazing, exceptional woman that you already are, and that your temper sometimes throws you out of integrity, so that you can stop directing your emotions and your anger, your frustration, your resentment at somebody, at the people you love the most, at your children, at your parents, at your dearest friends, at your partner. And you can channel that energy, use it for creativity, use it for productivity, use it for feeling your power and knowing how amazing you are inside, and finding a softer, more loving, more heart-centered and connected way, more vulnerable way of expressing your wants and desires and your fears and your experience, your overall experience. Yes, you might need to say to your partner, hey, that thing you did really triggered me. It really touched something painful in me. And I'd love for us to find a different way of doing that going forward, because that really hurt me. It was a very difficult experience for me. It's taken a lot for me to be able to have this conversation with you. And I really don't want us to keep getting to that place over and over. So can we navigate this? Can we lay maybe down some boundaries, or can we explore what was going on for you? Women, this isn't all about you. I don't want to give you the message that you're the only one that needs to change. No, there's always work for both partners to do in a relationship. But what I've learned over and over again is that when the woman stops becoming the enemy and stops making him the enemy, his behavior completely shifts. You will see a different man who wants to be your everything, wants to protect you, provide for you, show up for you, wants to learn your love languages, wants to hold space for your emotions, wants to support you to hold yourself through traumatic experiences. You know, when you're healing trauma, when you're going into the deep parts of yourself, he will be there for you. He will hold that for you, with you, not for you, with you. The ways that a partner can step up when you stop making him the enemy, absolutely mind-blowing, exceptional. You may be on the verge of having a beautiful, amazing, forever relationship, but you may also be at risk of destroying it if you do not shift this behavior. So there are links on my YouTube. Find me on Instagram, send me a message, either Instagram or Facebook. Talk about working one-to-one with me so that we can shift this. As I said, I have a program called Unbreakable Love. I won't go into the pragmatic details about it here and now. We can talk about that on a one-to-one. But these are the results that you will get from it, what I've just been speaking to now. It's the most beautiful experience to realize that your partner is actually on your side all of the time, and that he's genuinely got your back and he genuinely wants the best for you. And then you get to step into the mature feminine version of yourself. Not to say you can't have your masculine, absolutely. I mean, I'm still a very masculine woman, even though I've got my mature feminine online these days. But you get to have choice. This attacking, blaming, shaming, critical version of yourself that comes out, that's actually the immature masculine, or the immature feminine sometimes as well. And what you get to learn through this work in Unbreakable Love, when you're building trust and teamwork, is you get to step into, or awaken. I don't want to say step into, because it sounds as though you're stepping out of your masculine. You get to be in your mature masculine and awaken your mature feminine, so you can hold the two side by side within yourself. And it is absolutely the most beautiful version of yourself. It's the version of yourself you've always wished you could become, you've always wanted to become, and you've probably been striving to become for a long time. And you haven't quite managed to get there by yourself, because I believe truly the allowing yourself to be supported is such a huge, huge part of this. Allowing yourself to trust a coach such as me, so much so that you can allow your defenses down and shift this behavior. That is a massive part of bringing your mature feminine online. So I look forward to chatting with you further, either Instagram, Facebook, or you can email me. I think probably not actually. Go to my website, explore my offerings. Just know that you're worth this, and know that it is absolutely possible for you to achieve this. There's no reason whatsoever why you can't have this same experience that I've had, this same transformation that I've had, that I now coach women to have. There's no reason why you also can't have these results and have this beautiful, forever, happy relationship. Bye for now.